Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying memories and wondering if they're secretly hoping you'll break no contact? Do you ever ask yourself if they're sitting there right now, staring at their phone, silently wishing you'd send that text, make that call, or reach out just one more time? You're caught between curiosity and heartbreak, aren't you? You want to know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and if they even miss you at all. But what if I told you that this very uncertainty, this painful unknown, is actually your greatest weapon? Think about it. The moment you stop chasing, you take back your power. The moment you stop seeking their validation, you become the one in control. Imagine stepping fully into your strength, becoming so emotionally disciplined, so unshakable, that your silence echoes in their mind louder than any words ever could. This is the true essence of mastering your emotions, so completely that you become immune to manipulation. You become untouchable, the one they never saw coming. Here's the brutal truth. When they walked away, they expected you to crumble. They expected you to chase, to beg, to do anything just to keep them in your life. They counted on your weakness and were sure you wouldn't last without them. But what happens when you don't do what they predicted? By embracing no contact, you flip their entire reality upside down. You send a message so powerful that it forces them to question everything. Suddenly, you're not the one waiting around. You're not the one suffering. You're no longer controlled by your need for their approval. Instead, they're the ones wondering. Your silence is no longer just the absence of words. It's a storm inside their mind. With every day that passes without you reaching out, they start second-guessing their decision. They begin questioning if they made a mistake, if they underestimated your strength, if they actually lost someone who was irreplaceable. This is where the power shift happens. The moment you stop looking back, you start moving forward. You step into a version of yourself that doesn't chase ghosts. You become the kind of person who doesn't lose sleep over someone who chose to walk away. That's when they realize something terrifying. You're not coming back. Suddenly, they're the ones who feel the emptiness. They're the ones who start feeling regret. Today, I'm going to take you through the mindset shift that will make you untouchable. You'll learn the real power behind silence, resilience, and indifference. You'll see how emotional control isn't just a way to protect yourself. It's the ultimate attraction, because when you stop reacting, when you stop giving them the power to affect your emotions, you become something they can't ignore. No, you're not reaching out. No, you're not breaking no contact. You're stepping into your full power, and they're going to be left wondering why they ever let you go. Here's the most important part. By the end of this, you're going to unlock the most valuable thing you can ever give yourself, something far greater than just making them regret losing you, something that will change the way you see yourself forever. So stay with me till the end. Now, before we dive in, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you never miss a life-changing lesson. I want you to comment below, "I am valuable because you are." By the end of this, you're going to see just how powerful that truth really is. Let's begin with the loudest power move: silence. Most people fear it. They mistake it for weakness, for surrender, for a loss of control. But those who understand its power know the truth. Silence, when used with discipline, is the most devastating weapon you can wield. It doesn't just speak, it commands. It forces the mind to race, to fill in the blanks, to wonder. And right now, it's doing exactly that. Think about it. When you hold your silence, you aren't just ignoring them. You're showing restraint. You're proving that your emotions don't control you, that their absence doesn't shake you, and that your worth isn't measured by their attention. And that is more powerful than any words you could ever say. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." That's exactly what your silence does. It doesn't beg for understanding. It doesn't fight to be heard. It simply proves, through unshakable discipline, that you are in control of yourself. Right now, your silence is doing something they never expected. It's making them wonder. Their mind is working against them. Why aren't you reaching out? Did they misjudge you? Are you moving on? Did they lose you for good? Uncertainty is a powerful force. The human mind craves answers, closure, predictability. When you break no contact, you give them what they want. You let them know they still hold a place in your world. But when you stay silent, you become a mystery, and nothing pulls people in like a mystery they can't solve. This isn't just about no contact. It's about mastering emotional discipline in every part of life. A fool reacts. A fool rushes to prove a point, to demand attention, to seek validation. But those who understand power know that silence shifts everything. It unsettles, it confuses, it forces the other person to sit with their own thoughts, their own choices, their own regrets. Maybe right now you're thinking, but what if they move on? What if they forget about me? That fear is the exact weakness they expect from you. But here's the truth. People don't forget strength. They don't forget you. They don't forget someone who refuses to be controlled. And if they do, then they were never yours to begin with. Your silence isn't passive. It's not a surrender. It's a storm waiting in the distance, making them uneasy, making them question everything they thought they knew about you. Every moment you hold your ground, their confidence cracks just a little more. Every day you don't break, the doubt grows stronger. They thought you were predictable. They thought you'd reach out, that you'd need them more than they needed you. But now they're not so sure. The mind plays cruel tricks when left alone in silence. It replays moments. It questions decisions. It creates narratives. And right now, their mind is doing all the work for you. They expected a chase. Instead, they're met with stillness. They assumed you'd need answers. Instead, you've chosen discipline. They thought they had you figured out. Instead, they're realizing maybe they never knew you at all. Emotional weakness is the silent trap that steals your power. It starts as a whisper in your mind. Just one message won't hurt. Maybe if you explain yourself, they'll finally understand. Maybe they just need to hear your voice one more time. But that's the trap, the illusion, the lie that keeps you stuck in a cycle of emotional weakness. You think breaking no contact will ease the pain, that it will give you closure, or maybe even bring them back. But the truth is, the moment you break, you lose. You hand over every ounce of power you had. You become predictable, controllable, exactly what they expected you to be. Epictetus once warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that's exactly what's happening when you act out of desperation. You're not in control, your emotions are. And here's the thing, desperation never rekindles attraction. It never makes them rethink their decision. It never pulls them back in. If anything, it does the opposite. It pushes them further away. It confirms that they were right to leave. Because in their mind, if you were truly valuable, you wouldn't need to chase them. Think of it like fire and oxygen. When someone pulls away from you, your first instinct is to rush in, to smother them with words, explanations, apologies, just to keep the connection alive. But what happens when you throw yourself at a flame? It burns out faster. Attraction works the same way. The more you try to force it, the faster it dies. You might be wondering, but what if they just need to see that I care? What if they're waiting for me to reach out? That's the emotional weakness talking. That's the fear of letting go. But the truth is, people don't come back because of words. They come back because of impact. And nothing leaves a stronger impact than someone who refuses to fold under pressure. your ability to withstand discomfort, to sit in silence, to control your emotions instead of being controlled by them. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you unforgettable. People expect weakness. They expect you to break. They expect you to seek their validation, to beg for another chance, to prove your worth through desperate actions. But when you don't, when you hold your ground, when you show that your world doesn't revolve around them, that's when the power shifts. It's like a game of chess. The moment you make a desperate move, you expose your position. You become predictable, easy to control. But the moment you sit back, unshaken, calculating, unbothered, that's when they start wondering. That's when they start second-guessing. The most powerful thing you can do right now isn't to explain yourself. It isn't to show them how much you care. It isn't to chase closure. It's to rewrite the story, to become the person they never thought you could be. Because the truth is, they expect you to break. They expect you to be weak. They expect you to come crawling back. And when you don't, when you show them that your self-worth doesn't depend on their attention, that's when the regret begins. That's when the doubt creeps in. Not because of words, not because of apologies, but because of silence. Silence is strength. Restraint is power. And mastering your emotions, that's the difference between being remembered and being forgotten. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't explain. You move forward, unshaken, and they're left wondering what they lost. The mind never rests when faced with silence. There's a reason silence is so powerful. It doesn't just exist, it expands. It grows in the mind of the one who expected you to break first. The longer you stay silent, the more their thoughts start to turn against them. At first, they feel confident. They assume you'll reach out soon. Maybe they even tell themselves that ignoring you was the right choice. But then time passes, a day, a week longer, and something strange starts happening. Doubt creeps in. Uncertainty whispers, questions they weren't prepared to ask. Why haven't you reached out? Are you moving on? Are you with someone new? Did they misjudge you? This is the power of the unknown. The human mind hates unanswered questions. It craves certainty, predictability, control. But when you refuse to break the silence, you become unpredictable. You become a mystery. The more they think about what you might be doing, the more they start to realize something uncomfortable. They have no idea. It's a psychological shift they never expected. When someone assumes they have control over you, they stop valuing you. They take your presence for granted because they believe they can have it whenever they want. But the moment they realize that control is gone, that's when everything changes. Scarcity is a powerful force. The less available something is, the more valuable it becomes. And right now, your silence is making you rare. It's making them wonder. It's making them question if they ever really knew you at all. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain isn't due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." And that's exactly what's happening in their mind. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they could predict your reaction. But your silence challenges their expectations, and suddenly they're realizing that they might have been wrong. Now their thoughts are racing. Did they miscalculate? Were they too quick to assume they could walk away without consequence? They start replaying old conversations, dissecting your last moments together, searching for signs they might have missed. They thought they were the ones making the decision, but now they feel something they never expected: powerless. You see, attraction isn't just about presence, it's about perception. People don't chase what is easily available, they chase what they fear they may never get back. And by refusing to reach out, by holding your silence, you shift the dynamic completely. At first, they thought you were waiting. Now, they're the ones waiting. At first, they thought you were hurting. Now, they're the ones feeling uneasy. At first, they thought they had control. Now they realize they don't. This is the quiet storm of emotional detachment. The less you react, the more powerful you become. The less you explain, the more they want answers. The less you chase, the more they wonder why. And maybe right now you're asking yourself, but what if they never reach out? What if they don't care? That's the wrong question. The real question is, why would you want someone who only values you once they feel they're losing you? Your silence isn't a tactic. It's a reflection of your self-respect. It's proof that you don't beg for people who take you for granted. It's a message that says, I was never yours to control, and that's what makes them regret everything. Now imagine a revenge that isn't fueled by bitterness or anger, but by an inner transformation so profound that nothing can shake you. This isn't about hurting someone else. It's about reshaping yourself until no one can break you. When you embrace emotional invincibility, you step away from the trap of reacting and instead become the calm in the storm. Many expect that when you're rejected, you should crumble, call, or beg for reconciliation. They predict a dramatic collapse, assuming that your heart will shatter at the first sign of solitude. But here lies the Stoic secret. True revenge is not in retaliation. It's in rising above the pain. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." By choosing to be emotionally untouchable, you send a clear message that your happiness, worth, and inner peace are not for sale. Think of yourself as a fountain in the midst of a turbulent sea. The crashing waves of emotion may try to erode your resolve, but your foundation remains unyielding. With every moment you resist the urge to react, you reinforce that strength. When others see you stand firm, unmoved by external chaos, they start to wonder about the source of your power. Their curiosity transforms into a kind of respect, a silent admiration, that you are not easily swayed. Perhaps you ask yourself, what if they think I don't care? What if they believe I've given up? The truth is, by staying composed and unbothered, you reveal that you are more than the sum of a fleeting relationship or a moment of rejection. You become an enigma, someone whose depth isn't defined by another's validation. It's like watching a phoenix rise from its ashes. The spectacle isn't just about survival, it's about evolving into a being of unmatched brilliance. In the realm of dark psychology, it is understood that people respect what they cannot control. When someone sees you as emotionally self-sufficient, the allure of your strength is magnetic. Your calm, measured presence tells them that you no longer bend to the winds of external influence. It's a profound form of liberation that triggers both admiration and regret in those who underestimated you. They begin to question everything they thought they knew about your emotional landscape. Was it ever real, or was it just an illusion of vulnerability? Consider the metaphor of a fortress. A fortress built on shaky ground can crumble under the slightest attack, but one constructed with unyielding stone and reinforced resolve remains impervious to external forces. By cultivating Stoic discipline, you turn your heart into that fortress. Every refusal to engage in petty drama adds another layer of strength, making it clear that you are the architect of your own emotional destiny. Some might wonder, is it not lonely to walk this path of silence? Don't I risk losing connection entirely? The answer is found in the beauty of independence. Emotional invincibility is not about isolating yourself. It's about being so whole within that you no longer depend on external factors for validation. You become like the quiet star in a dark sky, subtle yet brilliantly constant, drawing admiration without the need for overt displays. There's a lesson in every moment of restraint. With each instance where you choose not to react impulsively, you chip away at the expectation that you will behave like everyone else. The predictable path is replaced by a road that leads to self-mastery. People often conflate emotional vulnerability with weakness. In truth, vulnerability, when embraced with wisdom, can be the gateway to strength. But there's a fine line between sharing your feelings and exposing yourself to manipulation. By mastering your emotions, you protect that line and ensure that you remain unassailable. In this transformative journey, you are not chasing after the remnants of what was lost. Instead, you are forging a new identity, one that is independent, powerful, and self-contained. As you walk this path, every moment of composure becomes an act of rebellion against the expected narrative. You are saying, without uttering a single word, that you will no longer let someone else dictate your state of mind. Your transformation is a testament to the idea that true power comes from within. Every day you choose calm over chaos. Every moment of silence becomes a declaration of independence, a refusal to be swayed by the unpredictable tides of external validation. It is in this silence that your true strength is revealed. As the world watches, they begin to see that what once seemed like a retreat is actually a strategic withdrawal into a space where you are in full control. Now is the moment to take action. If you're ready to turn heartbreak into unbreakable strength, if you're prepared to let your silence speak volumes about your inner power, then hit that like button, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Embrace the journey of becoming emotionally invincible, because the greatest revenge is not about proving something to someone else. It's about proving to yourself that nothing can ever truly hurt you again. Imagine a state where nothing can disturb your inner calm, where your happiness, worth, and peace are yours alone, not tied to anyone else's actions or opinions. This is the art of indifference, a misunderstood yet powerful tool of emotional mastery. Many confuse indifference with coldness, bitterness, or even apathy. But genuine indifference is something altogether different. It means that you no longer hand your emotional power over to others. Instead, you become unshakable, calm, and free from the turbulence of external drama. Think of it like being the eye of a storm. Around you, winds may howl and rain may lash, but at your core, you remain perfectly still. When you master indifference, you create that inner stillness. Every time you face a situation that might normally provoke anger, sadness, or desperation, you choose to stay centered. Your emotional state is not a pendulum swayed by every passing event. It is a fortress built on the principles of Stoicism. You might wonder, how can I truly be indifferent? Won't that make me seem uncaring or distant? The truth is, genuine indifference is not about shutting people out or pretending nothing matters. It's about recognizing that your self-worth does not depend on someone else's presence or validation. As Seneca once taught, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When you stop letting your mind create endless whiffs and emotional dramas, you begin to see things clearly. You understand that clinging to external approval only gives away the reins of your own power. Imagine a delicate vase on a table. If you keep nudging it every time you feel a twinge of insecurity or disappointment, eventually it will crack. But if you allow it to sit undisturbed, it remains whole and beautiful. Your emotions are much the same. By practicing indifference, you protect your inner self from constant disruption. You decide what affects you and what does not. It's not a matter of not caring at all. It's about caring for yourself more than you care about being validated by others. This is not the same as being callous. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you're genuinely indifferent, you're fully present, entirely responsible for your feelings, and completely free to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your happiness. When you let go of the need to react or to chase after validation, You reclaim a part of yourself that might have been lost in the noise of expectations. You may ask, what if my indifference is misunderstood? Won't people think I'm lazy or detached? But here's the secret. Those who value you will see your unyielding calm as strength. They will admire the fact that you're not easily swayed by every fleeting emotion or every external circumstance. Just like a well-tuned instrument that plays beautiful music even in the midst of silence, your indifference creates an aura of mystery and respect. Every moment you choose not to react impulsively, you are silently declaring that your emotional energy is precious. You no longer give it away for free to those who would take it for granted. Instead, you keep it reserved for endeavors and relationships that truly matter. Consider the metaphor of a rare gem. The rarer it is, the more it is valued. When you become emotionally independent, you turn yourself into that rare gem, a person whose worth is not measured by how much they need validation from others. Furthermore, as dark psychology teaches, people crave validation when it is hard to earn. When you're no longer chasing or pleading for someone's attention, you shift the dynamics completely. They begin to see that your calm is not a facade, but a reflection of deep inner strength. They wonder how you managed to rise above ordinary reactions, how you transformed what could be a vulnerability into an unbreakable shield. This realization, when it dawns on them, creates a magnetic pull. They are drawn to the mystery of your strength and the respect you command without even saying a word. Of course, you might still feel moments of doubt. You might think, am I being too detached? Is it possible to be caring and yet remain so indifferent? The answer lies in understanding that true care starts from within. When you're secure in your own identity and happiness, you can offer care without sacrificing your peace. It's like being the sun that shines on everyone without being dimmed by the clouds that pass by. Every instance of practiced indifference chips away at the idea that someone else holds the key to your emotions. Over time, this journey teaches you that your power lies in your ability to choose what affects you and what doesn't. When you realize that no external force can dictate your inner state, you become not only emotionally invincible, but also irresistibly attractive. You set a standard of self-respect and confidence that no one can easily ignore. If you're ready to embrace this remarkable freedom and master the art of indifference, transforming every potential vulnerability into a testament of your inner strength, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This journey is not about becoming indifferent. It's about becoming unshakable. Embrace your power and let your indifference speak louder than any words ever could. Now, let's explore the idea of the one who got away. Imagine this. They left because they believed you would always be the same, emotionally dependent, predictable, and easy to read. But what happens when you break that mold? What happens when you evolve into someone who embraces emotional independence and absolute detachment? Suddenly, every reason they had for leaving starts to crumble. You are no longer the person they expected. You are now a mystery they can't quite decipher. When you adopt Stoic discipline, you transform, not by playing mind games, but by fundamentally changing the rules. You are no longer driven by emotional desperation. Instead, you choose growth, discipline, and inner strength. This transformation sends a powerful message. You no longer need anyone's approval to feel complete. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your newfound independence becomes the very proof of your strength. Now picture them trying to reconcile the person they once knew with this new, unshakable version of you. Every day that you maintain your silence, every moment you let your inner calm speak for itself, intensifies the uncertainty in their mind. They begin to wonder, did I miscalculate your worth? Did I make a mistake by letting you go? It's as if they are watching a puzzle come together piece by piece, a puzzle that they once thought was simple, but now reveals a complexity they never anticipated. Consider the image of a river that changes its course. The water that once flowed predictably now takes an unexpected turn. They might ask themselves, how did you change so quickly? What secret lies behind that calm? In the realm of dark psychology, we learn that people deeply fear underestimating someone's value. When you stop being emotionally reactive and instead remain steadily detached, you trigger a profound inner conflict in them. They begin to question if they ever truly understood you or if they took your emotional stability for granted. You might also be asking, what if they never reach the point of regret? What if they simply move on? The truth is, by embracing Stoicism, you are not chasing after validation. You are simply becoming a person who stands out in memory, a person whose absence makes them question what they lost. Your emotional detachment is not about being cold. It's about taking control of your life and showing that your happiness no longer depends on anyone else's actions or decisions. Think of it like a garden left untended for a season. In that silence, wildflowers begin to bloom where there was once only monotony. Your evolution into emotional independence is much like the flourishing of unexpected beauty in a neglected garden. They start to wonder about the transformation. How did you cultivate such resilience? How did you let go of the need for constant reassurance? The legendary Stoic Epictetus once noted that true freedom comes from letting go of what you cannot control. And by choosing to remain unbothered, you send a clear signal. You are in control of your emotions, your destiny, and your happiness. This realization can be a bitter pill for someone who once thought they had the power to shape your world. It's not about forcing regret. It's about naturally revealing your worth. Every day you choose to stand firm. You force them to confront the fact that perhaps they never truly appreciated you. Your transformation challenges their assumptions and slowly makes them question their decision. They begin to wonder, was it wise to let go of someone who could transform adversity into strength? With every passing moment of your steadfast silence, they see less of the old, predictable you and more of someone who is unbreakable, a person whose worth cannot be measured by mere proximity. This isn't a conscious act of trying to make them regret their choice. It's the inevitable outcome of your commitment to personal growth. Your evolution becomes a mirror, reflecting what they once took for granted, causing them to face the possibility that they might have made a terrible mistake. They are left with unanswered questions, each one a testament to the mystery and magnetism of your transformation. If you're ready to become that unforgettable figure, someone who redefines worth through emotional independence and stoic strength, then take action now. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Embrace the journey of self-mastery because in the end, you're not just proving something to them, you're proving it to yourself. Remember, true power lies in evolving beyond the need for validation, in becoming the one who got away. Let's get brutally honest. The greatest victory isn't about winning someone back. It's about winning yourself back. Emotional freedom means breaking the chains you've built around your heart, those self-imposed bonds that let others control your inner world. Every time you chase after a message, wait anxiously for a call, or seek someone's approval, you hand them the keys to your emotional prison. The moment you rely on someone else to feel whole, you surrender your power. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is not attained through the satisfaction of desire, but through the suppression of desire." In other words, true freedom comes not by giving in to every impulse or longing, but by mastering them. When you learn to control your desire for validation, You reclaim your peace, your dignity, and your self-respect. You become emotionally self-sufficient, independent from the unpredictable choices of others. Imagine your emotions as a wild horse without reins. It races unchecked, taking you on a chaotic journey. But when you learn to hold the reins, when you tame that wild spirit, you no longer get tossed around by every fleeting moment or rejection. Instead, you steer your own course. Every time you choose not to react to an unwanted text or ignore a call that once sent your heart racing, you tighten those reins. You're showing the world that you are the master of your destiny, not a passenger in someone else's story. Some might ask, but what if I miss them? What if I feel alone without their validation? It's a fair question. The truth is, leaning on someone else for happiness is like building a castle on shifting sand. It may look stable for a moment, but it will crumble when the tide comes in. True strength lies in building a fortress from within. When you break free from the need for external validation, you construct a stronghold where your self-worth is unassailable, no matter what storms come your way. Think of it this way. When you're emotionally tethered to someone, your happiness is like a kite held down by a heavy string. Once you cut that string, the kite soars freely, catching winds you never imagined. Your independence becomes magnetic. Those who once took your attention for granted suddenly see the immense value in someone who stands tall without needing constant reassurance. Your freedom not only transforms your inner life, it also reshapes how the world perceives you. In the realm of dark psychology, it is clear. People are drawn to those who exude self-reliance. They admire the quiet strength of someone who refuses to be held hostage by their own emotions. Your calm, collected nature sends a powerful signal. You are not defined by another's actions. Instead, you are defined by your ability to choose how you feel. That choice, mastery over your inner world, is the ultimate form of self-love and a declaration of independence. Imagine a bird with clipped wings, forced to remain on the ground, versus a bird that is set free. The free bird flies high, exploring vast horizons, its potential unbounded. In the same way, when you release the chains of emotional dependency, you set yourself free to soar to heights you never thought possible. Every moment of silence, every time you choose not to engage in a destructive cycle of longing and despair, is like a step toward liberation. This journey toward emotional freedom isn't about isolating yourself from the world. It's about realizing that your happiness, your value, and your life are entirely in your hands. When you stop letting someone else dictate your emotions, you become the author of your own story. You write chapters of resilience, growth, and self-respect that no external force can erase. By breaking your own chains, you send a clear message to the world. You are unbound, untethered, and unstoppable. Your life is not a series of reactions to others' actions. It is a masterpiece crafted by your own decisions. And that, ultimately, is the sweetest victory you can ever achieve. If you're ready to cast off the shackles of emotional dependency and embrace a life where you are the master of your own happiness, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let your transformation be a beacon of strength and a testament to the power of self-mastery. Embrace your freedom, because when you break your own chains, you become truly unchained. Now let's talk about reality. The cold, hard truth. Imagine for a moment that they're secretly hoping you'll be the first to crack. They might be obsessively checking their phone, replaying past memories, and waiting for that one message to confirm that you're still under their control. But here's the raw truth. Even if deep down they wish you'd break contact, it's not because they truly want you back. It's because they need validation. They crave that reassurance, that confirmation that letting you go was the right call in their eyes. Watching you chase after them reinforces their power. Yet reality has a way of exposing illusions. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And in this case, your silence does exactly that. It forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth about themselves. While you might imagine that they're thriving without you, moving on effortlessly, the reality is far different. Your steadfast quiet creates an unsettling space in their mind. Each day you remain unresponsive. Every moment of disciplined silence makes them question the certainty they once had. You might ask yourself, what are they really thinking? Do they secretly worry that they miscalculated your worth? The answer lies in the dark corridors of human psychology. When someone's power depends on your emotional reactions, any deviation from that predictable script triggers cognitive dissonance. They're caught between two conflicting images: the person they believed was emotionally dependent and the reality of someone who has evolved into a disciplined, unflappable force. This internal conflict can breed deep-seated uncertainty, leaving them wondering, did I really have control? Did I underestimate them? Think of it like a master chess game. For too long, they assumed your every move was dictated by their influence. Now, with your silence acting as a powerful counter, the board has shifted. Your emotional restraint is like a well-placed chess piece that forces them to reevaluate every strategy they once took for granted. Every unanswered question, why aren't they reaching out? Have they moved on? Is my decision to let them go a mistake? Adds to the mounting tension in their mind. This isn't about making them feel bad for you, it's about reclaiming your power. By refusing to react impulsively, you demonstrate that your emotional well-being isn't for sale. Your calm, steady presence tells them that you're not defined by someone else's actions. Instead, you've chosen to invest in your own strength. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your silence becomes a mirror reflecting the value of self-control and discipline. Picture a vast, quiet lake at dawn. On the surface, everything appears still and undisturbed, yet beneath that calm exterior, powerful currents are at work. Your silence works in much the same way. It creates an atmosphere of mystery and introspection. They're left to wonder what hidden depths lie beneath that calm facade. The unanswered questions become like ripples on the surface of a pond, each one spreading further into uncertainty, forcing them to confront their own insecurities and doubts. It's natural to wonder, what if they never reach out? What if my silence just pushes them completely away? But here's the key insight. Your silence is not an act of abandonment, it's an assertion of self-respect. When you choose to remain emotionally unreactive, you're not giving in to the need for validation. Instead, you're setting a new standard for what it means to be truly free. You no longer allow their expectations to dictate your emotional state. And in doing so, you strip away the very foundation upon which their control was built. This transformation can be unsettling for someone who once believed they held all the power. Your unwavering resolve forces them to question not only their past decisions, but also their current self-image. They begin to realize that the control they thought they had over you was nothing more than an illusion, a fleeting shadow that vanishes in the light of your newfound strength. So if you're ready to embrace this truth, to stand firm in the face of their doubts and reclaim your narrative, now is the time to act. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let your disciplined silence serve as the ultimate reality check, not just for them, but for you. In mastering your emotions, you unlock a power that is both liberating and transformative. Remember, the greatest victory is not in forcing someone to regret their choices, but in proving to yourself that you are unbreakable. Imagine this ultimate paradox. The secret to becoming truly irresistible isn't in holding on tighter, but in letting go completely. It seems counterintuitive. Often, the more you crave something, the harder you chase it, and the more it slips from your grasp. But here's the transformative truth. When you genuinely detach and release the need for external validation, you become magnetic. This is the pinnacle of Stoic discipline, where real power is found in complete emotional detachment and self-reliance. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you let go, you shift your focus inward. Your thoughts become clear, empowered, and free from the turbulent noise of craving. Imagine your mind as a clear sky after a storm. The chaos has passed, and in its place, there's a vast expanse of calm and infinite possibility. That's the state of being when you stop needing external approval and embrace your own worth. You might ask, how can letting go make me irresistible? Think of it like a magnet. In dark psychology, attraction often thrives on what seems out of reach. When you detach from the outcome and let go of the need to control, you present an aura of mystery and independence. You present an aura of mystery and independence. People are naturally drawn to what they cannot easily possess. Your authentic detachment, built on unwavering self-sufficiency, signals strength and emotional maturity that is impossible to ignore. Picture a river that carves its own path through a rugged landscape. It doesn't force its way, but instead flows effortlessly, shaping the terrain over time. In the same way, by releasing the urge to chase or control, you allow your true essence to emerge. You become that quiet force, a person whose inner strength is visible even in silence. Your emotional autonomy becomes a beacon, drawing others in without you having to say a word. At times you might wonder, will letting go mean I'm giving up or becoming indifferent? Not at all. Genuine indifference isn't about shutting people out or feigning apathy. It's about recognizing that your happiness is rooted in your own inner state, not in someone else's actions or approval. It's a courageous acceptance of the reality that you are complete on your own. When you let go, you're not abandoning connections. You're redefining them based on mutual respect rather than dependency. In a world where many measure worth by constant validation, your shift toward internal satisfaction sets you apart. Dark psychology reveals that true attraction is born out of authentic independence. When you release your grip on outcomes, you disrupt the conventional dynamic. You stop being the person who is easily swayed by external influences, and instead, you become a living testament to emotional resilience and self-worth. Consider the metaphor of a candle burning in the dark. If you try to shield it too closely or hold it too tightly, its flame flickers and diminishes. But if you step back, allowing it to burn freely, its light shines stronger and draws others in. Similarly, by letting go of the need to control or chase, you allow your inner light to burn brighter, making you irresistibly attractive simply because you are secure in your own radiance. This transformation isn't about playing games or manipulating outcomes. It's about honest self-improvement and the recognition that control over your emotional state is the true measure of power. When you stop depending on external sources for validation, you become the architect of your own destiny. Your strength lies in your ability to choose your thoughts and feelings, independent of the chaos around you. Every moment spent clinging to what you can't control is a moment that steals away your freedom. Instead, embrace the art of letting go, and you'll discover that your energy becomes more potent, your presence more commanding, and your allure undeniable. It's the ultimate Stoic discipline, a rebellion against the impulse to cling, and an embrace of the beauty that comes with liberation. Now, as you stand on the threshold of this new beginning, Remember that the journey to becoming irresistibly unbound isn't about forsaking connections, but about nurturing the one connection that truly matters, the connection with yourself. When you release the need for constant validation, you find that your true worth shines through. Your inner strength becomes the magnet that naturally draws respect, admiration, and yes, even attention. If you're ready to embrace this truth, if you're ready to let go and let your inherent power speak for itself, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let every day be a testament to the fact that you attract by letting go. Remember, the ultimate attraction isn't in chasing after what you desire. It's in embodying the freedom and confidence that come from knowing you are complete on your own. Embrace your Stoic paradox and step into a life where your irresistible nature is defined not by what you hold onto, but by what you've released. As you navigate this journey, keep in mind that emotional strength is built over time. Each step you take toward independence solidifies your foundation. With every act of self-care, every moment of reflection, you are crafting a life that honors your worth. The more you nurture your inner self, the less you rely on external affirmations. You become your own source of validation, and that is a powerful transformation. In closing, as you continue to explore this path of emotional mastery, remember that the journey is just as important as the destination. Celebrate your progress, acknowledge your growth, and remain unwavering in your commitment to yourself. You have the power to shape your reality, to redefine your experiences, and to attract the kind of relationships that honor your worth. Embrace this newfound strength and let it guide you into a future filled with possibilities. You are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough.